This is the micro SD card slot on a Nintendo Switch, and if you aren't careful, it's easy to damage these. I'll show you at the end of the video why that tends to happen, but for now I'm going to go ahead and pull this off because this is not reading SD cards, and the reason why is because we've got damage down here where it connects. You can see that as this was plugged in, a couple of these little gold teeth are missing. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the board from the device. We'll get this replaced, and then as I mentioned earlier, I'll show you why I think these get damaged so often. Got the board out of the device now, and as you can see, we've got a lot of plastic pieces around here, so I'm going to go ahead and tape this off just to make sure we don't end up with any collateral damage, because the temperature we're going to have to reach here is going to create some potential issues with that stuff. So we're just going to tape these off and lift this dude off the board and hopefully not have any problems with anything else. I also pulled off the piece that was over here. There's a panel with an IC mounted to it, so I just went ahead and took that off so it's out of the way. It unplugs right over there. These boards will take quite a bit of heat before anything melts, so I am going to come in at 470 Celsius on my hot air, and I set the airflow to 35. Probably could go, yeah, I'd probably not go any higher than that because I don't want to blow any of those other components off. And we'll get this ready. Alrighty. Alright. Takes a bit of heat. Get this old non-leaded solder off. Hopefully make our lives easier. Get some leaded solder on here. Alright, that should work. I think we can just a little more flux. Alright, and let's get our part. Here we go. Can go in the trash. Alright, I think that's about as close as we'll get there. Now we'll just go and touch these up. They're probably okay as is. I can move that over just a hair, but I think we'll be okay. So we can add a bit of solder. Actually, I want to look at this from both angles. Where'd you go? Yeah, we're pretty close to the middle there. Oh, where we go? There we go. Pretty close. Pretty close. We're off by a hair. Not going to be a big deal, because that cable that plugs in here has some flexibility, and it's one of the things I really don't like about it, honestly, but at least it'll be forgiving if we got just a tiny bit of the alignment not quite perfect. See, is this gonna fit? Let's see if we can get in here. These dudes. Alright, that ought to do the trick. Make sure none of these are loose. If they're not moving, we should be fine. I'm going to touch up the side just a bit, and I'm going to use some heat, some hot air, I should say, at the same time. Hopefully make this a little easier. This guy right here is lifting up a bit. I need him to stick. And also we can kind of just smooth these out a bit more. Ground pins are always fun. See, that dude does not want to attach. One stubborn pin. Let's see if we can use the existing solder. Ooh. There we go. I think we're on now. Let's double check that. Oh, sorry, I'm out of focus. Okay, so this one right here. There we go. So, yeah, so we need a little more heat there. But we should be okay. I'm going to go touch this up, clean this, and then we'll put it back together. Actually, I'll do that right now. How's that? Let's touch up this one right here. Need more flex. They're so much fun. There we go. That looks better. And nobody's moving around, so that should be good. So usually these cables that plug in here have a little piece of black foam on the back side, and I find that if you peel that, and this one doesn't have it for whatever reason, so I don't know where the original went. We'll have to try to find that later. But there's a foam pad, and it kind of helps to keep pressure on the back of this to plug it in. It's difficult to line this up when you've got that black foam on the top, so I would recommend you just peel that off until you get this connected. And then if you take a look at the way that this fits on, you can see that right where that little ledge starts, just below there, that's where the center of this is going to be. So in my experience anyways, it's a little easier to get this aligned properly when you don't have the foam on, and you want to just very gently, make sure it goes in nice and easy, because if it doesn't, you're going to end up with the kind of damage that we saw just a second ago. And of course this one is going to make my life difficult. Let's see. Okay, so we're right here. Yeah, these are really sensitive. And if that's not bad enough, oh, this one fits nice and tight. Usually when you put the originals on here, they rock back and forth very easily. So keeping it straight, especially because we have to there's a crimp in this cable on the new one. So you'll see as I push this forward to line up over here, that's going to cause this thing to kind of crimp. And with the original, it's much easier because it's already bent. But this one, you can see we got to get that straight. Make sure this stays nice and flat. Then put the plastic foam on top of it so that it stays in place. And then of course, last step would be putting this screw in over here to keep everything nice and straight. So main thing is peel the little black piece, little sticker off the back, and be very gentle when you plug this in, because if you've got it crooked, you're going to end up damaging this thing when you install it. So I'll go ahead and put this together, and we'll confirm that our SD card is functional, or our SD card reader. All right, let's see if we have the ability to read an SD card. And we should. Well, that's nice. These like to fall off pretty easily for some reason. So get our SD card, and when we insert this, we should get a message. Oops, let's flip it over. Okay, do we have a message? There we go. So we're going to get a message here that says to restart the console. And when we do that, obviously it's going to tell us. So this is the message you're looking for when you put the card in. And if you pop it back out, I believe that message is just going to go away. And there you go.